Idaho. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I got a haircut finally. People were talking about my bed head, so I had to cut it off. Good afternoon from Cincinnati. Anthony, what's going on, man? Bright and early here in Las Vegas. Can someone confirm that the audio and video looks half decent, please, and sounds half decent? Anyone? Has it begun? Yes, Keith. Confirmed. David, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Gibbs, finally the first one. Yeah, I had to get a new haircut. Hey, Brian, you better stop with that. Good afternoon from West Virginia. Good morning from Las Vegas. All right, so I want to start this stream by saying happy birthday to Ryan. And I'm really hoping that he doesn't fail you guys today. The first split I leave, if I make it, Ryan's gonna give you guys a pop socket. So I haven't started warming up or anything yet. See I brought 3 balls with me. I brought the pink yellow thrill, I brought the Forge Flare, and I brought the Venom Shock. So I'm gonna turn this around and move the camera and get warmed up. All right. Just gotta move the camera a little bit. All right, that looks pretty good there. Almost 4.9 right there. That ball definitely needs a piece of tape. Yeah, 9-pin already. So I haven't thrown this flare in quite some time, but man, it rolls good. The current surface on the flare is probably like 2,000. I haven't thrown it in a while. Gibbs, no desert tank, but I am bowling doubles again this weekend, so the desert tank will definitely come out. Brian, I did not bring the desert today. Yeah, Keith, the flare is really good on heavy oil, but it's also really good on really high friction because it won't, like, it'll almost roll out and kind of just roll into the pocket. Matthew, yeah, Legacy's a beast. So this is gonna be my Venom Shock. What's up, Paul? This is gonna be my Venom Shock. Probably a 4,000 surface on it. Yeah, that shock needs some surface for sure. So on my shock, David, the surface I like best is probably like 2000. I don't like it too much with like 3 or 4,000 because it can be a little jumpy. I like for it to read the front part of the lane. And as you can see, even from these first couple shots, I need some surface to control, you know? Yeah, James, if someone hides my desert tank, I'm in trouble. So the real reason why I wanted to do this live stream today is just because I'm feeling like, especially on that last shot, I feel like I'm so fast. I just need to slow everything down. Hey Gibbs, be safe, man. Win that title. Yeah, Forge Flare is just good. So these approaches are slippery right now. Yeah, I definitely needed a haircut. Yeah, my feet, everything, man. I think it's a combination of my feet being fast and my arms being slow. Just everything's been bad. I would say that's probably the best shot I've thrown in 2 or 3 weeks. Have you heard when and if they'll fill the rest of the medium oil line? James, I haven't heard anything, but as soon as I do, you guys will know. All right, let me see. I'm trying to figure out the best surface for my Fatal Venom to complement the shock. I never threw it with polish, since I don't usually like polished gear. David, I really like my Fatal at 4,000. A lot. Hey, Anthony, I'm really glad that those drills helped. Getting the ball speed up and down is very tricky because if you do the wrong thing, it can get very, very difficult. I'm glad it's helping. Yeah, James, I'm really sad that the blitz is gone. It's a really good one. All right. Where are you gonna bowl this summer since South Point is gonna do league, Sam's? Gas marketing. I have no idea what I'm gonna do for league for the summer. That was game one. Finished it for 236. I think I'm gonna stay in the flare. Yeah, that feels much better because if I can get my feet slow, it feels amazing. And that's what I like about the flare right there. On that shot, I definitely missed left a little bit, and it still wants to read in the oil. Yeah, I'm really liking this flare. Rocky, are you referring to me? You sent me a message on Messenger? Arsenal so far, villain, just purchased a blitz and alpha jackal. Which one would suit me best of? Beat up house pattern and drilling pattern. I would definitely look into the Supra. Okay, did I almost just 5.710? Dennis, the flare looks almost as good as the shock for you. Ooh, I don't know if I'd go that far, but it does look pretty good. I think here, especially at Samsung, if I can just get the ball going to the right a little bit, it does the right thing. It's just so weird for me because I feel like the ball's telling me to move right, but I know if I move right, that's a trap. Gonna trust Lewis to 2000 condition. Tonight. They'll make me a price one donor. David, man, you better win it. Dennis, I will throw the shock from the same line I'm throwing the flare as soon as I break this streak. I got the front 6 right now, so if I jack it up, then I will. Then I'll go to the shock. So got the front 7 now. I actually moved a little bit right and it went through the pins much better, much better.
Quite the picture there, huh? Showing you everything, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
So that's the front 8 with the flare. Yeah, it looks. I'm on live stream right now.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, great deal.
So definitely could not go all the way. Missed left a little bit with the front 8 and wrapped a 10. Oh, David, I don't, that doesn't mess with me. My mental game is pretty strong enough that I can talk about having the front 7, front 8, whatever, and it doesn't really get to me. So that was front 8, 10-pin flag. So now I'm gonna go to the shock from that same spot. And that's exactly what I thought it would do. Because it's a weaker cover, weaker core, it'll respond to the friction a little bit harder and went through the pins pretty good. I am gonna stay though in the flare just for now. And then once I gotta get out of the flare, I'll go back to the shock. Yeah, James, hybrid shock would be pretty insane. So this is gonna be my fill ball for game 2, strike for 267. I'm gonna move left, everything left, eyes and feet. Yeah, that looked really good. You know, I went like 2 and 1, 2 and 2 left, just to keep that strong cover in the oil a little bit longer. Well, there's the first split for today. If I pick this up, I will give someone a pop socket courtesy of Ryan, but no promises here. First one to respond. First comment about me making the 710. All right, anyone, first comment anything. All right, here we go. Straight in the pit, straight in the pit. Yeah, I really like this Forge flare. I can't believe I hadn't thrown it in so long. So I'm definitely a few shots away from getting out of this flare and into the shock. Show you guys a layout. There's the pin there's the CG. Well, that's pretty embarrassing. F in the chat for a gutter. You know how much you have to miss right to gutter here at Samstown? So now I got 7-10 open, strike, gutter 10 pin. See, if I could do that repeatedly, we'd be in business. Yeah, David, that's what is the opposite of good? I feel like my flare has died out a little. My rev rate is sort of similar to yours. Do you recommend any suggestions? Standing a keeper of the ball service. So with a cover this strong like on the flare, I would highly recommend you cleaning it and maybe taking it to get oil extracted depending on how many games you got on it. Yeah, especially on balls with covers this strong, I do a really good job at making sure I clean it after every use, because once the oil gets in the cover, it's toast. And it's not the flare, it's any ball with a cover that strong. Yeah, Tyler, no problem. I really thought that was a good shot. I'm gonna move left a little bit off that. I mean, that's definitely a good sign that I 9-pinned and then I moved left and it's still going through the pins. Just out of curiosity, when you're looking for your spot to hit, where are you looking in particular? So Brandon, I am looking, here, I'll show you. So about here, the tip of my finger, just below the arrows. Basically at the end of the first panel is where I'm looking. That way it's the same part of the lane no matter which arrow I'm looking at. Any tips on trying to keep the ball in the oil instead of getting it out to the right as much? Find myself moving left. So, well, you gotta convince. So the reason that you don't gutter is because you know the gutter is there. So if you can try to move the gutter left with your eyes and pretend that if you hit 5, for example, it's gonna be 0. That's what I do to help me not miss right. But we all still miss right anyway. So I'm really thinking this next shot with the flare will be my last one in the flare before I go to the shop. And let me be clear when I say this. The only reason I'm ball changing is because I want to throw every ball on the stream, because the flare still looks really, really good. So this is going to be the same spot with the shock. So I finished that game for 216, I want to say, yeah, 216. So let me read off some of the, yeah, shock always looks better. So for 3 games, I'm at 719 right now. So, which is pretty damn good. You know, I'm gonna need to be a little bit better if I wanna win this doubles tournament with Andrew. Talking about wanting to be better and miss 10 boards left. Well, similar start to last game where I went 8-1, so. Also, if I remember, I'm gonna change the grips on this shock. They're a little loose. That's right, Kelly. Leave all the bad shots in practice. That's right. We don't practice till we get it right. We practice until we can't get it wrong. How do you have loose vacuum grips? So, David, because they're vacuum grips and the backs are so like not glued in at all, they'll expand over time. So if you're not changing them more regularly, like if you see this grip here is like super, super soft. But if you look at like this one on the Thrill, it's like way stiffer. And when you're fat like me and don't have revs, you gotta make sure the grips are tight. Yeah, I like that shock a lot. I'm definitely gonna change the grips out and resurface it a little bit before tomorrow. So Terrence, it's all about feel. The difference between grips and no grips, for me, I absolutely need grips because I swell quite a bit because I'm heavy set. So if you don't have grips, I mean, it will not expand. But if you have grips with vacuums like I do, the grip will expand based on the swelling. That's why I use a spare ball. Dennis, I do not have that the flasher me. And then there's a comment here. Unfortunately, I do not understand that language. I see there's a question mark at the end. I wish I could answer that question for you, buddy, but do not understand. Try using Google Translate, and that might help a little bit. And that's why I like more surface on the shock, so that it doesn't jump off the spot as hard. Do you guys all have interchangeable thumbs? I'm really going that route, and I wonder how it feels compared to standard thumb holes. What I really like about the interchangeable thumb is that every single thumb is going to feel exactly the same. Yeah, David, I appreciate that. Yeah, this 9-pin and me are getting a little too familiar for my liking. Yeah, this is a perfect example of why you need surface on high friction environments. Yeah, Ryan, that was pretty disgusting. So this is gonna be the thrill. It should come off it harder. I don't know, I'm just gonna go to it just because. Yeah, well, David, if I was bowling for score, I would still be in the Forge Flare 100%. I just want to make sure I throw all the balls I brought on stream. So I'm going to stay in the thrill probably the duration. Ina, hi, how are you? That looks pretty good. Weaker core, weaker cover, stronger layout. It's not over jumping the friction. I'm gonna move right and see if it'll over jump it. Yeah, David, pretty much. So I moved like 5 or 6 right with the thrill, and as you can see, it hooked a ton. Really angular in the back. So I'm gonna stay a little bit further left with the thrill, maybe for half the game before I get into the flare one more time. So my buddy Deontay, fellow staffer, He says that this thrill has no idea how much it costs, and it's the truth, man. This ball outhooks its price by a lot. See that right there? That's the thing with the thrill, is that because the cover's so weak, if I get it in like I did on that shot, ball has zero chance. Ron is at the Orleans today. Okay, is that the luckiest shot you guys have ever seen? Yeah, that I missed right, and it read the friction super freaking hard. And so now I got the front four with the thrill. Let's see if I can go a little bit longer than I did earlier with the flare. I probably missed 5 left on that shot, and it just sat there because of the weak cover. Anyway, front 5. I'll take it, I guess. Jeez, how many times am I going to miss left? Seriously. I think that's the most frustrating part is you got a good look, and I have a bunch of room to the right. And then when my timing gets all janky, I start missing left. But hey, I'm only human. I mean, look at that. If I get it right, it like walks to the pocket. So come on, let's finish this off. Avenel High Road, what motive ball would you say is similar to that? Tom, the closest thing to a High Road is probably the Supra. The Supra has way more differential, or a little bit more differential, and about the same RG, but you gotta remember that the High Road is a hybrid. So the closest one probably would have been the original Ripcord, but that's long since been discontinued. All right, we're down on the home stretch now. I'm about to start the 10th frame, working on a turkey at punch out for 278. That was a good shot. That was a good shot. Brian, no, I did not bring the purple today. I ended up swapping it out for the thrill last minute. Yeah, that was pretty. That was a pretty embarrassing flag of the 10 pin. Well, I didn't bring my spare ball. No excuse. I should still be making them every single time. So I finished that game for 245 and 1145 for 5, which is pretty strong considering I went 181 game 4. So I think the big thing is like knowing your equipment, knowing why the thrill looks so much better than the shock, for example. Do you have a legacy? I have a legacy, but I didn't bring it with me. I brought the Forge Flare, the Venom Shock, and the pink yellow thrill. So the flare looked really good because it controlled the down lane friction and handled the oil in the middle part of the lane. When I went to the Venom Shock, it got through the front part of the lane easy, which is what you want from a step down. But when it saw the friction, it really wanted to go because it didn't have enough surface. So going to the thrill, weaker cover, weaker core, stronger layout. And what that's gonna do is it's not gonna over jump the friction. I got it right, and because it's not a huge cover, it's not gonna overhook. My grandson has one. Yeah, the Legacy's a really good ball. So now, had I had a Venom Shock with a little bit more surface, so this is my shock right now. It's completely lane shined. So if it had a little bit more surface, like maybe 2,000, even 3,000, it probably would have looked a lot better. And then this is my thrill. It is a little lane shiny, no polish on this. But like I said, because it has the weaker, that's not lane shine, that's polish. No, definitely not. I don't put polish on anything. That Venom Shock is strictly lane shine. It probably has 20 or 30 games on it from the last time that I put surface on it. All in all though, guys, I will say that I do feel like my game is getting a lot better. But I gotta find a way to cure that drift, because that drift is getting a little wacky. So I'm gonna have to, I'll probably just shoot a video on what I'm doing to help with that drift, getting my timing back in order. Because for me, it's all about timing. If my timing gets all out of whack, it ends up being no good. I mean, as you guys can see, when my shots are good, I'm solid at the line. And then when my shots are bad, I'm all over the place. And like I always tell, like I tell my patrons all the time on Discord, we have goals. So So we got to do whatever it takes to meet these goals. And what are we doing to make these goals happen? So for me, it's all about my timing. So what am I going to do for my timing? I'm going to come out here and practice. I'm going to work on it, make sure that my feet are nice and slow. I'm not doing all this funky stuff in the back part of my swing, and get it right. So if you guys have goals, I would love to help you with this. Join my Patreon for as little as $5 a month. And it's just www.patreon.com/MotoBlue. Have you ever made the 710? I have. I made it twice. And both times were completely lucky. So if you guys have any questions for me before I get off the stream, I have a couple of minutes to spare. If you guys have any questions, I would love to answer some questions for anyone who wants to. And then I have a question for you guys. Have you guys watched my 6-shot challenge that I did with Jameson? And if so, what did you think about it? I really want to start doing this with other staffers. Nationals is about to start, so there's going to be plenty of moto staffers from all over the country, maybe a couple of different parts of the world that are going to be here in Vegas. I'd love to shoot with them these 6-shot challenges. Let me know what you guys think. So if you guys don't have any questions for me, I'll just end it here. I don't really want to stare into a blank screen. Ryan, thoughts on the Masters pattern? That looked brutal. And actually, talking about the Masters, I think this is going to be the last year that I'm not bowling the Masters. You see the scores at the bottom are super low, and I like to believe that I would not be that far in the bottom, especially when it's here in my hometown. All right, let me see. 6-shot challenge is fun. We need one of those Nationals Arsenal videos soon. David, yes, I will definitely do one as we get closer to Nationals. Here at Samstown is where I would shoot that video. All right, let me see. I just got the Jackal Flash last week and threw it at box surface. First time, I liked it, but I want to do a little more ball. Yes, the Jackal Flash for surface is pretty monster. Shoes, what slides do you use? Here, I'll just show you. And it may surprise you. I use an S2, and I use the heel that came on it. I don't slide a lot, so if I use anything more than an S2, it gets pretty wonky. What is the flash surface? Dan, on my flash, I keep it at 4,000. I don't polish anything. I should do one with Deontay. Yes, if I can get his butt over here. Do you knock the shine off everything and just let them lane shine? So for my pearls, I really like to keep them at 4,000 pretty much every time I'm bowling for score. Do you like the Legacy when you get an heavy oil? I assume you meant heavy oil. Yes. I like the Legacy a lot on heavy oil. As of late, I lean a little more towards the Forge Flare just because it's symmetrical. I know that it'll shape a little bit more. Need a game 1 ball to match with my Jackal Flash. If you want something similar to the Flash, but it'll be a little bit earlier, a little bit smoother, I would say go to the Jackal Legacy. And if you want to ball down from the Legacy, something like the Forge Flare would be really good. The stock heel on Dexters are tough to beat. Yeah, Brandon, I've tried a couple different heels, and that's the one that I just like the most. And lucky for me, it's the one that comes on the shoe. What do you think about swag and the PBA come this June? I think it's interesting, honestly. I mean, if I'm being honest, the more options that bowlers have, the better. Because, right before that, it was basically just Storm, Brunswick, and Motive. And, Storm, I mean like Storm, Rotogrip Global, and Brunswick, the 7 brands. I like this. I mean, I've never thrown a swag ball or any of the Lane Masters balls, but I think it'll be interesting. That plus Big Bowling. I think it'll be interesting to see some of these newer brands. And by new, I mean, because swag's been around for a couple of years, but I mean new, like new in the PBA. It'll be interesting to see if anyone makes a final wearing a swag shirt. I think that'll be pretty cool. Do you knock polish off all your box surface balls? So I will keep the polish on while I shoot the videos and all the comparison videos and whatnot. But as soon as I'm done with all those videos, or if I'm bowling for score or anything like that, I'll knock the shine off. You take the Ghost over any of the other jackals in the current line, right? Man, I mean, the short answer, the easy answer is yes. But I really like the Jackal Legacy. And I'm not saying that it's better than the Ghost. And I'm not saying that it's going to be, you know, and because the Ghost is an all-time great ball. But I do really like it. So it would be Ghost 1A, Jackal Legacy 1B. That's how much I like the Legacy. Let me see. Any other questions here before I end off? Whew. Let me any other questions? You better give us a heads up if they pull the old switcheroo remover of the Ghost. David, I would be very, very sad if they ever discontinue the Ghost. My grandson bowls with two hands with the Legacy and hooks a lot. Yeah, the Legacy hooks a lot, especially if you are a rev dominant bowler. David, yeah, for sure. The Ghost definitely needs to be stockpiled if it ever gets discontinued. I can't imagine that they ever will be. It's just such a good ball, and it's so unique. It handles the oil, it shapes. It's so unique. Is the Legacy more versatile than the Ghost? Absolutely not. And I think that's what makes the Ghost so special, is that the Ghost is way more versatile. For me, the cover on the Legacy is a little too strong when I start creating those really big angles. Because the cover on the Ghost is a little bit weaker, it handles that friction a little bit better. Motive Lou merch, let's go. I need that neon flower jersey. Yes. This is a bit of maybe breaking news, but I am working with I Am Bowling, right over here, I Am Bowling, and Logo Infusion to try to get some sort of merch line, t-shirts, jerseys, something made. Just because, I mean, even if it's just for me, but that's something I do want to do. So between the Flash and the Ghost, you would go Ghost? Yeah. Between Ghost and Flash, it'd be Ghost, and to be honest, it's not even close. The Flash is good, but the Ghost is an all-time great. What is your favorite bowling ball? My favorite bowling ball of all time is the Desert Tank. I figure Motive is likely keeping around the Shock and Ghost for a while, like Storm does the High Road and IQs. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like them. Like, okay, so the reason a bowling ball gets discontinued is because it stops selling. And if it's, I mean, at the end of the day, unfortunately, this is a business. So if there ever comes a day where the Shock and the Ghost stop selling, it's going to go away. I hope that never happens. Is the Venom Shock a must-have? Yes, absolutely, Dan. If you're someone who's never thrown a Motive ball or thinking about trying Motive for the first time, and I'm not saying you, I just mean in general, I always recommend the Shock as the first ball. It's easily the best ball that we've ever made for the most amount of people. What would you recommend for a two-handed bowler first game on a house shot? That would depend if you're rev dominant, or most two-handers end up being rev dominant. So like a really good game one ball could be like the Shock. I know that's like a cop-out answer, but the Shock, a Forged Fire might even be pretty good. But I would lean towards the Shock. Why? I assume you're asking why the Desert Tank is my favorite ball of all time. It allows me to play a part of the lane that I really like to play, and it just does the right thing. If you watch pretty much any video where I'm throwing the Desert Tank, it rolls freaking phenomenal for me. And so for that reason, it's my favorite ball of all time. If you look at the tournament vlog that I did with Andrew, like not the last vlog, maybe the one before, something, it rolled pretty freaking good the first two games. I like the Flash myself, but it's such a unique piece and very short-lived use for me. I may throw it half to 3/4 of a game and it becomes too angular. Yeah, the flash does get pretty angular. I'm changing over to motive completely thanks to your videos. Adam, I mean, that's pretty amazing to hear, man. Like, I'm just a guy, you know what I mean? I'm just a guy bowling, loves bowling. So for, you know, to see comments like that, it's pretty amazing. So welcome to Motive. I hope you love the stuff as much as I do. Definitely try the Venom Shock. Building a Motive arsenal sounds like the Shock is next. Dan, yes, the Shock should have been first. You know, if I'm being honest. My grandson loves your channel. Ina, that's amazing to hear. You know, I appreciate the support. I hope, I do my best to put out content that's good for everyone. Doesn't matter how long you've been bowling, doesn't matter your skill level, doesn't matter if you're 10 years old, 70 years old. I'm trying my best to put out the best content for everyone. I'm not trying to isolate tournament bowlers or super scratch bowlers or handicap bowlers, just everyone. We're all bowlers. The purple isn't going to dethrone the desert then, huh? Brian, no. No, it can't because the the purple is too specific. Like, it's only really good on the short patterns, a lot of friction. The desert for me ends up being better on a lot more situations. Got the Shock on order and no problem. Yeah, man, Adam, I really hope that you like the Shock half as much as everyone else does. You're doing great and I enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Dan, I appreciate that. I will, 100%. Do you like the Motive equipment? Yes, I do. So before, a little backstory of myself. So before I was on Motive staff, I threw only Storm and Motive. And I had offers from other companies, which I won't really talk about. And I declined them because I knew what I like, and I'm not going to sign with a company just because I get free stuff. And ultimately, I ended up with Motive, and I honestly do not regret that one bit. I'm really liking the stuff. I like the direction that we're going. Yeah, so yeah, the short answer is yes, I do like the Motive stuff. You should have sold every single person who watches it in the desert by now. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how good the desert rolls for me. Because there's other staffers here in town that the desert just does not roll that good for them. The Storm smell cool? Yeah, you know, it's pretty cool that they're putting scents in the balls and stuff. Some of them smell kind of weird. Like I remember I had a Crux Pearl back in the day that smelled like root beer, and I hate root beer. So the ball, even though the ball rolled pretty good for me at the time, the smell. Ooh. Roto Grip is where I started. A staff member, been Motive for 4 years now, but not a staffer. Yeah, Eric. So there's obviously benefits to being on staff, but there's also benefits to not being on staff. The ability to throw whatever you want, whenever you want, without restrictions. But personally, I would rather be on Motive staff than not be on Motive staff. You know, if that makes sense. Ina, I have no idea how they put the scent in the balls. I'm sure it's some proprietary stuff that they do in Utah. I have no idea. Yeah, if you don't like the desert, then you got to throw it better. 100%, Ryan. Gabe, how did I get on staff? So I applied online and was fortunate enough to have been selected. I will tell you that at the time I was working in the pro shop here at Samstown actually. So I think that that's what helped me get on staff. And then I really think that because of this YouTube channel and all the promotion that I do is how I've been able to stay on staff. I'm over 50 years old. I go with what's good, not popular, and Motive is good, very good. Eric, yeah, I mean, I agree. The Desert Tank isn't a very popular ball, but it rolls really, really good for me. So that's why I stay in. All right, I'm gonna be calling it quits here in a second. I do want to say thank you guys so much for joining me today in this live stream. My grandson sent a letter to Storm, and my grandson is 11. Well, good luck to him, man. Tell him to keep going. Don't give up. Do you need a certain average to get on staff? I don't think so. You know, being a great bowler obviously helps for being on staff, but at the end of the day, we're here to sell bowling balls. It's our job to promote the brand. So if you're not promoting the brand, then like if you're not selling balls, then you have, not that you have no value, but the value is decreased. So that's why working in a pro shop helps so much. Don't forget to check your messenger. Rocky, I promise you I will as soon as I'm done with this stream. So working in a pro shop helps because you directly influence sales. So for someone like me, I don't work in the pro shop, I don't directly influence sales. So someone, just because they tell me they're gonna buy a ball, they may or may not buy the ball, you know what I mean? Making staff is about visibility and competition. They want you out there being seen doing well with your stuff. Yeah, I mean, bowling well in tournaments definitely helps. But, you know, we're in an age that's dominated by social media. It's all social media, all marketing. So, you know, like when I post a YouTube video, it gets, for example, 2,000 views. You know, like a decent video gets to 2,000 views. That's a larger reach than someone who's only bowling tournaments on the weekends and does zero promotions. So there's a big, big influence with all this social media stuff. Sorry, there's a guy bowling next to me who's like screaming at the pins every time. You're one of the very few that do live streams and talks to the viewers. It's huge for aspiring Joes to pros. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, when I watch YouTube videos of other content creators, forget bowling, just any content creators, and you comment on the video, for example, and they never respond, it's kind of discouraging, but I like the feeling when I comment on someone's video and they respond. It makes me feel like I'm engaged, like where there's a connection there. So I really want to make sure that I give that to all the people who watch my channel. So I try my best to respond to every single comment. And actually, I think as of this morning, there's no comments that I haven't responded to. Just subscribe. Dan, hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Social media stuff is vastly important for making staff. Had a buddy not make Storm staff despite being a better tournament bowler with a guy with YouTube. Yeah, I mean, David, yeah. I mean, being a great bowler, sure, is cool, but how are you going to sell bowling balls? You know, the social media is huge. I mean, so if you have, okay, so right now I have like 3,200 followers or subscribers on YouTube. So that's potentially 3,000 people that are going to see a video as soon as I post it. So the reach, and then, you know, like posting on, like I also manage the, you know, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you. I also manage the Motive Maniac Instagram page on Instagram. I don't know if you guys knew that, but the Motive Maniac page is mine. There's 7,000 people that follow that page. So I post something and 7,000 people plus all the hashtags are going to see it. So it's like a really, really big part of today's age. I mean, think of it like outside of bowling. Like if you're going to buy a camera or if you're going to buy anything, the first thing you do is you look it up online. So this is kind of the same thing, you know, like I'm getting ready to buy a GoPro Hero 9 for this other, I'm starting another YouTube channel on something completely different than bowling. And the GoPro Hero 9 can serve as a webcam as well. So that's something that I'm gonna buy, and I'm doing tons of research, and the first thing I do is go on YouTube. You know, so I'm really thinking that this bowling industry is gonna, I really hope that it's gonna turn more towards the social media, and yeah, so sorry, I know I can talk forever. So all right guys, my throat is completely dry now. I appreciate all you guys being here and this little Q&A I did at the end. I'm probably going to do this a little bit more often. So guys, thank you so much. Until next time, I got a video coming out on Sunday, Jackal Flash versus Trident Horizon. It's going to be a good one. And then tomorrow I'm bowling doubles with Andrew. So I really appreciate it if you guys wish us luck. Can you bowl two-handed? Yes. If you go on my channel, Ina, I think it was the Villain Scorn review and the T10 review from like 2 years ago. I tried two-handed for a while, so you can have your grandson look at those videos. And if you ever have any questions about the two-handed game, I'd be more than happy to talk to you guys. Tom, are you gonna vlog the tournament? Yes. Just stay focused, 100%. Always focused. Always focused. But yeah, Andrew and I are gonna vlog the tournament. He seems to really like talking in front of the camera, unlike Jameson. Ina, I did okay. Ultimately, I went back to one-handed. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun, definitely an experience. So, all right, we're done for today. Until next time, guys, I really appreciate everything. Check out the Patreon, www.patreon.com/motivelu. It gives you access to a members-only Discord, members-only Facebook group, and many more benefits. 800 for both of you would be amazing. Take care, guys.